Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and rule well, and Shalom to all the brothers who work considering truth. Let's arc on D and YUZ. China charges ahead with a national digital currency. Annabelle Huang recently won a government lottery to try China's latest economic experiment, a national digital currency. After joining the lottery through the social media app WeChat, Miss Wang, 28, a business strategist in Shenzhen, received a digital envelope with 200 electronic Chinese yuan, or CNY, worth about $30. To spend it, she went to a convenience store near her office and picked out some nuts and yogurts, then pulled up a QR code for the digital currency from inside her bank app, which the store scanned for payment. The journey of how you pay is very similar to that of other Chinese payment apps, Miss Wang said. On electronic yuan, Electro One, though she added that it wasn't quite as smooth. China is charged ahead with a bold effort to remake the way that government-backed money works, rolling out its own digital currency with different qualities than cash or digital deposits. Yeah, so, this is all tied into that mark, man. Because the mark is going to be what? That electronic currency. And it's this current one they got in China is based, they essentially can do it because of what? WeChat and Alipay, which are the two digital wallets. I'm not sure if I believe it's tied to your identity, like WeChat, like all your services as well as your money are within it, but I'm not 100% sure. It might. I believe it works separately for your bank account, but it's like Apple Pay and whatnot. So it's big, because the same thing. It's like when you deal with like London, as far as like Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay. These things are now just very normal. People they had Apple Watches, they got their phones. They got even contactless cards. It's hella normal. So the next step of just making a straight digital currency is a lot of people jump on it, man. So this is what China is charged ahead with a bold effort to remake the way the government-backed money works, rolling out its own digital currency with different qualities than cash or digital deposits. The country's central bank, which began testing Electro Yuan last year in 4 cities, recently expanded those trials to bigger cities such as Beijing and Shanghai, according to government presentations. And this year as well, see how they were just giving out the money to kind of get people giving out free Electro Yuan to just get people using it and give them more of a positive they'll look at it more positively than if it was just like, okay, mess with it. So they're thinking, oh wow, yeah, it's so easy. You just go get some ones and zeros and then spend it. And that's because as well, it's like, even with fiat, it's not tied to anything. And a lot of times people will just leave. They don't really use paper cash. It's more like the older generation use paper cash, or the younger generations will just be used to just using your card for everything. To government presentations. So it says the effort is one of several by central banks around the world to try new forms of digital money that can move faster and give even the most disadvantaged people access to online financial tools. So yeah, that's the angle they're going with. or if you're downtrodden, if you know if you're what's the word, disadvantaged on the outskirts of society, which really is applying to Jake, because that's something you always hear about in America. They say like suppressed the black vote, or you know, black people don't know how to sign up to vote, which then when it's, I feel like they're gonna say like, oh, that that national ID card, which or that mark, they're gonna push it out, man, an implant, and say, look, all these things are gonna be tied in, so it's all just you don't have to go for all these different systems. You can just be like, bang, I'm just gonna you scan your chip and then you can do X, Y, and Z. Because it's you're not gonna be able to buy or sell, so you're not gonna be able to function within a site without that mark, man, that implanted that charagma. So says many countries have taken action as cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, which has recently soared in value, have become more popular. But while Bitcoin was designed to be decentralized so that no company or government can control it, digital currencies created by central banks give governments more of a financial grip. Yeah, which that's what ESO's implementing them things with, man. It's getting the mark, is that digital all that XS21, I believe. Plainly say, I love my master. That's you basically saying I love your master, because you're basically giving ESO complete and total autonomy over you, man. Because you're basically gonna have to sacrifice, basically be destroyed just so you can continue to function in ESO society, man. Because that's how much you love this place. And that's the majority of Jake are gonna jump on it. So it says the currencies can enable digital handouts of money that expire if not used by a particular date, and can make it easier for governments to track financial transactions, to stamp out tax evasion, and crack down on dissidents. Yeah, so that's a funny thing they said. I think they mentioned a bit further down. It says the money is given out expires if it's not spent by a certain time. So that's why it's like they'll that's where at that point it's a fucking token, man. It's like you trade it in for your monthly your monthly pasta and water and eggs, or else, man, or you lose it. And that's these are the things that the elites are looking to get in, man. Have you just because when you look at these post-apocalyptic movies, man, like End Time's a good one. Man, we're just grinding to get that time to just keep on being able to function. Man, we're barely able to be like, okay, we're gonna get through a day, and that's it shows how bugged these guys are, man. Because that's everyone's on that hello, okay, because yeah, all these people are just with blind faith in the system. Whatever means they need to go to, whatever extents they need to go to continue to function, they're gonna do it. But they don't like it's man is surrendering all autonomy and freedom underneath this man, these elites. So what they could, that's how much, just because of their love for Babylon, man. Says over the last 12 months, more than 60 countries have experimented with national digital currencies, up from over 40 a year earlier. According to the Bank for International Settlements, countries include Sweden, which is conducting a real-world trials of a digital krona, the Bahamas, which has made a digital currency, the sand dollar, available to all citizens. In contrast, the United States has moved slowly and done just basic research. At a New York Times event last week, Treasury Secretary Janet L. Yellen indicated that that might change when she said an American digital currency was absolutely worth looking at. So yeah, the beast. Well, the horde that rides the beast. Um, looking to get in, man, and that's where it's gonna go. That digital currency, because all you've had is Bitcoin hitting all time highs, and as well because of like as far as the sheer amount of spending, it's like the economy is looking hella bloated, man. That thing is a zombie that's been propped up by just injections from the Fed, man. The American economy is not. That's why it even says, uh, maybe not in this one, but something I'm reading earlier. It says like the fuck are they called? Stock markets were having some of the best weeks they'd had in time. Funny as hell. So yeah, it says absolutely worth looking at because it could result in faster, safer, and cheaper payments. Yeah, well, okay. So yet no major power is as far along as China. Its early moves could signal where the rest of the world goes with digital currencies. Yeah, 'cause China's been ahead on a lot of stuff as far as with shifting towards that mark, and it's like these guys can just push it out because they've got that iron fist over their people, man. Their people are kept on lock, man. So it's kind of expected for the state to have that much control and saying these things. But here in the states, in the West, Europe and the States, people will kick back, will chafe against it harder. But what they're this thing's gonna get in. Whatever means needs to be used, will be used. And it's there just saying how the rest of the world goes with digital currencies, because this thing is not gonna be, it's gonna come up, just like with that mark, that implantable device. It's gonna come it's gonna come to the forefront of society, because that's where Esau's going. So I said this is about more than just money, said Yahya Fanusi, a fellow at the Center of Economic and Financial Power, a think tank, and an author of a recent paper on Chinese currency. Let's see what it says. Was that actual paper? No. Okay, yeah. Nah, yeah, it's too much, man. Oh, actually, well, that's funny as hell. What does it say? Adding financial data to digital authoritarianism. Yeah, it is about that control, man. Because that's the same thing China's using it for. That's what Esau's using it for. That mark, you get that chip involved, then it's what everything, even life and death. These things are under the elite's control. Because it said earlier, what about limited coming against dissidents? Yeah, to crack down on dissidents. And them guys in China, they don't really have Sesame credits for that. It's like if you do, you speak up or behave the wrong way too much, you can't use public transport. You can't leave the fucking country. You have to, you're fucked. So yeah, I even said that they said you can't get phone contracts, can't get internet. You can't even get an internet line. They ain't gonna be able to use the internet. And then what? Phone line, and bank loans and shit. Can't even get a mortgage. Can't get. So it's fucked. Don't even know if it. Well, I guess you could work. Yeah, but it was that Sesame Credit shit is fucked. But okay. What was it? Yeah. So Okay, yeah. So it's about developing new tools to collect data and leverage the data so that the Chinese economy is more intelligent and based on real-time information. While the while the Chinese government has not said if and when it will officially when it will officially introduce the electro yuan nationwide, several officials have mentioned having it ready for tourists visiting for the 2020 Olympics in Beijing. So yeah, they could have it where it's just like, okay, look, download this app, bang, convert your money to whatever, and then you utilize that in and around, you know, the 2020 Olympics. If you know, if that's even a thing, you know, if we're even here, um, because that's like what Barclays did it, I believe, where they had like you get not a fob, I think it was a wristband, and then you just top up money on it. But this is obviously then instead of just it being like, you know, you put money in, uh, it's a whole different currency. So it says recent articles and speeches from officials at the People's Bank of China, which is the country's central bank, underscore the project's ambitions and the desire to be first. The right to issue and control digital currencies will become a new battlefield of competition between sovereign states, read an article in China Finance, the magazine of the central bank, in September. China has many advantages and opportunities in issuing fiat digital currencies, so it should accelerate to seize the first track. Yeah, so that digital currency it's gonna be a focus, man. Think well, yeah, it says what people invited to the trial through a lottery. People invited to the trial through a lottery on WeChat or other apps were able to click on a link and get a balance of 200 electronic yuan, which was sometimes displayed in their bank app over a picture of an old-fashioned Chinese banknote with Mao Zedong's face. To spend the money, users can use an ECNY app to scan a retailer's QR code or produce a QR code that the retailer can scan. Yeah, so it's using QR codes, but yeah, then they'll just be like, look, just get get the mark, that implantable device, which wraps in. That's the thing is, these systems are being built so that when the mark comes in, it just links up with all of them. Because even I remember years back, this is fucking like 2008, 2009. There was like tutorials online for the what do you call it, Oyster cards, where you could basically like melt the Oyster card down and then just get the chip inside and the wiring around it, which gives it the field around it, and then basically put it inside whatever you want. Like you just mold your own thing and put it inside there. So all these things are built around that same technology. It's been that same technology, that near field communication. That's basically what everything's been built around, even down to like tracking of products in stores, all these things. And then utilizing the 5G infrastructure, it then allows information to bounce around and things to be tracked. It's basically once the chip's inserted into that framework, you then have that total control and that way to basically utilize all these different aspects to have everything under everything traceable and trackable, man. Because it even says the design of the ECYN borrows only a few minor technical elements from Bitcoin and does not use the so-called blockchain technology, a ledger-like system which most cryptocurrencies rely on. Officials from the People's Bank of China said, yeah. So it's they don't even use blockchain. Like they said earlier, it's not anonymous. It's all tracked, so they can know what money's going where, so they can tax you even hard. That's it's that control. And this is why Esau's gonna get in that mark. Why? Because that control. That's where things are going. Revelation 13:16 is there. If you don't think the mark of the beast is a chip, you don't think this thing's coming, well, you don't know what's going on, man. But yeah. We know what it is. I ain't even gonna read the scripture because same thing, that mark. Yeah, Shalom. Yabashim Yashab, Bashim Kakadash Bakada. Shalom.